Hey, in part 11 we're gonna start working on the baby hairs. We can leave them here for now. Let's go to these. So let's start with this one. Duplicate it. Let's make this clump here the first one. So this one needs to be thinner. I'm gonna restart my Maya to get the shortcut to work again. So let's go ahead and make a clump. So I'm just looking to this one here. So this needs to be together more tight. So let's hide the curve. Now we can see what we're doing. I think like that's okay. See, let's just take the same one. Check the poly count as well. That's okay. Let's do a duplicate. We can change the color to make it a little bit more clear. So I'm trying to get this effect where we have our hair here and hair going here. Right hand. Make this one less straight. That's too much. At this point you want to work a lot with twist. Because if you twist them, they're gonna work from multiple angles. You can see how this is the same card as the other one, the texture. But it doesn't look like the same one. So let's move it out a little bit here. So I think that's good now. Let's take one more. And we're missing one card that I need. Let's duplicate and take that card. So I think we're using 15. Should actually be using 16 here. As you can see, these are using 16 as well. For now, let's just keep them. I forgot to make the card. Take this one. Let's duplicate it. And I just want to have some, like this noise here. I want to have some really fine hairs. Don't want to use that much clump. A little bit more uniform length here. Go ahead and try to curl the end. It's the wrong one. So something like this. I think the curl here as well looks nice. So let's go ahead and make this really thin. I think something like 0.25. Make sure it's not overlapping here. Let's export. And if you want these cards to be a little bit brighter, as they're quite dark. No, actually that doesn't work. Never mind. You could do a levels. Just brighten them up and then do a manual override. Or you can do the override in like an extra action that you click it and then it only overrides. It doesn't import a new one. But I'm not gonna go do that. Wait a second. Something like that. This is just gonna make the card a little bit more fluffy. For this one, you want to make sure that it's not like this. Want it to actually be like next to the hair itself. Let's go ahead and orient this a bit. Let's go. And you also don't want it to be like this, one-on-one. You want it to come together, have some clump, and then break up. Like as you can see here, they're coming together, then they're breaking up. This is just the same idea as all the hair that we did earlier. Like these thicker ones will be our base cards. And then surrounding that we can place cards with a lighter alpha to make a more nice looking hair card. And I think need a little bit more variation in the side. Now we can take all of them. Let's just make them the same color, so we can have a better look at how it looks. You can see that we have one problem card. It's one that's going really weird. I think it's this one. That happens when you have too much of a twist. It's this one. The way we can fix that is we can decrease the twisting, or we can add divisions. That's gonna help smooth it out. As you can see now, it's really smooth. And just look for something that you like. But try to not go too high. You can just increase it a little bit and decrease the twisting a little bit until you find something that's nice. And now we have a pretty nice clump to use for the baby hair. As you can see, we have like one big clump here, but it's made out of multiple clumps. You could make one big clump, but I prefer to make small clumps, so I can use them for more places. Because right here we could do one, and then here we could do another one, so we have two clumps. Or we can just build them up from little clumps. I think if you build them up from little clumps, you're gonna get more variation in your hair. So let's make like a thin clump for this one. So for that one, let's start with this one. We got some weird stuff going on here actually. Let's see. And it's this one. That's better. This should be a nice small clump. And I think we can use this one here as well. Make sure to make it less thick though. So that can be our base. Let's make sure that we keep the poly count even. So more like that. Let's duplicate. Because right now it's only working from this side, from the front. So let's make sure we have some texture as well from the side. We can take it like this. So we can actually see the side. And again, Alt 1 to hide the curve. And I think that's okay. Let's do one more clump with just these. Let's go for like an in-between of the two. I think they're spreading out a bit too much here, so we can do a taper. Again, make sure to have some variation in the length. Add some curvature here. Just want to break it up a little bit. So let's take this one and make it less thick. So with this one we're gonna be able to add a lot of fluff to it. So we can take these cards. And we can just move them over to like a clump here. And then once we combine them, we get like a nice fluffy card. I think we can go a little bit thinner. Let's try 1.5. Something like that. So for now I think we have everything that we need to do this clump. Can reuse the one here, I think. Let's do like a thick, thin one. So let's get started using these. Like I said, I want to have like a really thin, thick one. And I think we need a new card for that one. Let's take... I think this one's a good start. Let's make it longer. Now I'm trying to do one like that. So change the length randomness a bit. We need more clumping at the tip, at the root. We can change the segments of the actual geometry of the hair. That way we can smooth this angle here out. Just make sure it doesn't go clumpy here. We should decrease the strength a bit. So let's try something like this. And actually first, let's take the card and move it a little bit closer. Just to save out on a little bit of space. Let's duplicate this card. Let's just do 2 of them so we have some variation. It's one a little bit less long. So we have a nice little clump here. I think that's okay. Should move it closer. That's good. And again, the textures didn't refresh here, because you need to have the viewer, the UV editor in the actual window. Like if you can't see it, the UV editor, it won't update the textures. As you can see, we have a nice thick card now here. Maybe it's a bit too thick, but we can adjust it later. But I think we're gonna have to get a few of the strands out. And you can see that they look a little different, which is good. You can see how much cards we're starting to get. But a lot of times you will just reuse a texture sheet for multiple hairs. Like these hairs, they're pretty normal, they have some wave and all. You can pretty much reuse this for a lot of hairs. Like we could use the same textures for this one, this one, this one. The only time it doesn't really work is when you have like a different hair type, right? Like even these hairs are really straight, it's okay. Because we don't have a lot of noise in the texture. This will work fine. And these curls, it's all gonna be like, the curls gonna be in the actual geometry. And the hair texture itself should be straight, so it will work as well. Let's say you have hairs like this, they're really different, and obviously it's not gonna work then. So just keep that in mind. You can reuse your textures for a lot of hairs. Let's go ahead and duplicate these. Let's make them a little bit thin as well. So like that. And twisting. Make sure this one squeeze the close side. That's oriented. And let's make sure we break it up just a little bit. So let's take this thin one. Just duplicate it. Let's give this one a lot of twist. And you can see that now a lot softer and nicer, the card. Especially when we hide the curve, it becomes really clear. Just make sure it's working from multiple angles though. From this angle it's working quite bad. Let's take this one. And do a duplicate. And now just orient it. So now that works better from all angles. Just make sure to add like a little break. So this is gonna be like a card that we're gonna be using to create clumping. If we take a look here, this card basically represents these little things here. And as you can see, they're everywhere. But to only make them out of this is gonna be a little expensive. So we're gonna use like thicker ones like these as a base. And then we can start connecting and clumping things like this to this. Let's do one more clump. This time we're gonna, like the fuzziness here, we're gonna create a clump for that. So here you have the swell. And we can just take this one. It's twisted again. Orient it. And I want to create an X-like shape. And I think we can spread them out a little bit. Let's see. It's this one. I don't think we use it anywhere else. Let me just quickly check. Actually, what's up with this one? So we have a weird card here. Actually, that's not weird. I forgot about the UVs. So we do use then another clump. So let me think. Just gonna keep a clump like this. And I'm gonna duplicate this one. So let's place it here. Let's go to the clump. Let's put some flyaway up. Let's put this one up. Also a little bit more density. Make them a little bit less thick. Let's get rid of the curl in the tip, in the root. So something like that. So now we just take one of the curves and we edit the UVs. And then we hold down Shift and drag. And that way we get the other curve. It's just gonna invert the selection. Actually, first we need to select this one, then this one, then transfer the UVs. We can also put like a little bit of a negative tape on there. It's just gonna make the ends a little bit bigger as well, as you can see. So I think like this, okay. Go ahead and make all this the same color. So we can visualize a little bit better how it looks. We should make like one more of these, because these are gonna be like supporting ones to go onto this one. So we can just take all these and duplicate it. Let's move them over a little bit. Now the first thing that I want to do is select them all. Let's get rid of the curves again. And go to randomize. Let's look and enable all this stuff. I think let's keep that one off. Let's try this one. So we can keep this one on. Let's just look for something that we like. I think this is quite nice. Let's try width as well. Let's keep the width off. Let's randomize. That didn't do quite a nice job. Just delete. Let's try that again. Actually, let's take these, make a duplicate, then another duplicate. Just make a few of them. Let's move them all over here. There's like the strength. Now if I move it, it's gonna be a lot of strength. And if I keep it low, it's gonna be just a little bit. So let's try it like this. Now we got some randomized. Now let's go here as well. Enable. Disable the rotation. See, we can maybe try something like this and randomize. Now let's get our curves back. Actually, not yet. Now let's look for the ones that we like. I think this one's quite nice. So let's just take these. Let's see, which one? This one. Let's see. This one's pretty nice as well. I'm just looking for ones that look okay and look different. And you can see without actually doing any modeling, I'm making new clumps of thinking that now we don't have to put this one 3 times. We can just choose from one of these 3. That's just gonna give us a little bit more variation for free. So also take these 3. I don't like these. So let's just take these and delete them. Again, arrow up to select the whole group and then you can delete them. I think like this. And let's put this one at the front with a little bit of distance. That way we can identify that that's not the original. This one's the original, I think. Let's just take this one. I just like to be able to see the original, different from the others. You can see that all the ends are still pretty similar though. So we can get a curve, Alt 1, can take this one. We can just edit it a little bit by hand. I think the randomize functions in this plugin are amazing. Like you will get some different looking hair clumps really fast. And this goes looking really similar. Let's take a look now. This one could use a bit of work. Just take one here. Move it like this. Again, I'm just trying to get a different feel and look from the other hair cards. So you see now that the create variation in hair, you have more choices than to just make new textures. You can get quite a lot of variation just using the same textures over and over again. But of course you can push the variation in the hair if we now take some textures and like replace them with other ones. But I think it's fine like this. You don't need to go that far. And I do kinda like reusing the same textures over and over. Because when I look at all the baby cards and I say the roots, they should all be a little bit thinner. I only need to go here and edit one card. And if we did like 5 different cards for variation, it's gonna take more time. I think like this is okay. And actually here's original. Let's take these. Let's put them like this. You can see how we started with one clump. Now we have really different clumps really fast. Of course they're similar because they're using the same texture, but it's pretty good for how fast it is. I'm just trying to create a little bit more variation in the tips of the hair, because I think they're still kind of similar. But it's also okay to keep them kind of similar, because as soon as we start actually binding them to one curve and placing them, we're also gonna take some and make them thicker and taller and all that, and then it's also gonna look different. Let's keep it like this. Now let's just do the same for these. Let's take them here. Can move these aside. Let's make some duplicates. And remember, you want to make more duplicates than that you want cards, because some randomized cards are gonna look really weird. This way you can just take the ones that you like and delete the other ones. Let's go with a bunch. I think we don't need that many. Let's go with this. Remember, don't randomize the original one, only the new ones. It's a little difficult to see, so just go to black maybe. Nah. I think white, or the blue one. Let's go with the blue one. So again, let's start with the rotation. rotation. I think for this one, maybe we can touch the thickness a bit. Let's try putting it to uniform. I do like to lock the first CV. If we don't lock the first CV, you can see how the roots become like all... They start getting away from each other, basically. And you want to have them stay together nicely here. So if we lock them, just gonna stay nicely together. Let's randomize. And these ones I don't like. I think those as well. Yeah. Those have a weird orientation. Same for those. I think this one as well. Maybe we just try rotating this one though. Like that. Nah. It's weird. I think maybe 6 of these. I think those look fine. Get rid of this one though. These are pretty similar. So those are fine. Let's move these a little closer. I'll just keep the original one at the front. And that way I'll know it. Actually, I think this one can go. I don't like... maybe do by hand. I don't like how much curve it has in the middle. Okay, it's better. Let's do the same here. Reduce the curvature a bit. I'm just trying to orient them in a way where I see the backside from the least amount of angles, while still working from all the angles. So let's keep it like that. For this one we don't need variation. Just put them on here. Actually, let's do one variation. So I'm just gonna duplicate it a bunch. Let's go with that one. And with this one. And remember this one, we also don't need too much variation for that. Just do 6 of them. Let's try the twist one. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So randomize the tape a little bit. It's actually quite nice. It's giving us some variation at the tip. Just not this one. So let's see, I don't like these two. I think that one was okay. Let's check. This one's pretty cool as well. I think we need to play a little bit with the orientation here. As you can see, it has a lot of back-sided stuff. Nah, actually I preferred it like this, and let's see. Just keep it backside, it's okay. I think it looks better that way. And let's go with that one. Also got a little bit of variation for that one there. And you can see just how many different clumps we can now work with. We'll probably won't even be using all of them. It's just nice to have them. And again, let's say you're gonna reuse these textures. You can just have a scene with like 20 different clumps using the same textures, and you can generate them really quickly. And then let's say you have multiple artists working with the same textures. They all use like this master scene where you have all the clumps. The artist can pick whichever clumps they like the best themselves. They could also like make more clumps using the same textures and add them to a sheet. That's also why when we make the textures, we want them to be straight and not have too much waviness in them. So they're easier to reuse for different hairstyles. Because you cannot make a wavy texture straight, but you can make a straight texture wavy. And let's try the taper one again. Pretty nice, the taper variation. So something like that. We get some nice variation. Let's try the twist. I think it's doing a better job with these clumps. See orientation. Rotation. Nah, probably also no. We could also lock the last CV. That way we're just gonna get some noise in the middle. I think I'm gonna start off with that. Now let's unlock it, do a little bit more, so the tips have a little variation as well. So these actually all came out pretty nice. I think it's just this one that I don't like. These ones are pretty similar. See which one we prefer though. Nah, it's okay, let's leave them. They're a bit different. So let's just use all of these. So these are the clumps that we're gonna start off with and try to make the hairs. The baby hairs. I think all these, they need to be a little bit thinner though, the texture itself, but we'll see. You can go up and actually select all of them. We can go to the UV editor. You can see how little of the actual textures we used to get all these different clumps. There's a little bit of a weird workflow, but it's okay. Now we can see the textures that we're using. Let's go with maybe color. The color works fine. Actually, let's light the color. Now we can just see which textures we're not using. So these two and this one we didn't end up using. Let's see if I want to make some extra clumps using them. I don't think we actually need to use them for now. I think I'm gonna use them, make them thinner. And I'm gonna stick them as just one single card in between the clumps to break it up. So, to better explain, let's duplicate. And this texture is gonna be thinner. We're just gonna take a clump, then we can put this one in it. That way we can also break up the clumps a little bit more. This is just adding to the clumps. Let's get rid of that one. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 curves. So that's quite a lot. So the fastest way to do it, let's draw one curve out. Center the pivot. Rebuild. Let's just reset. Now I think we can go to edit and duplicate the curve. We do special. Now let's see. 1 is fine. Number of copies. I forget how many we need. Let's just do 29. So we have 30. Now at translate, let's put that 1. Now you can see that we get a bunch of new curves. We don't need to draw 30 of them out and rebuild them. So now all that let's make a new save. Let's get rid of this thing. I should clean this up a bit. That's too much stuff. So now just select your curves. Select one curve and hit bind. Now, I wish we could bind like multiple ones with one. I don't think you can do that. Actually, there's some weird stuff happening. Curve is disappearing. Just undo that. Let's save. See what's up. Select them and bind. Not sure why my curve's becoming invisible. That's weird. It happened here as well. Can try to fix it. So I found the fix was pretty stupid. It's because we had the curves hidden on the layer that it was on. So let's go ahead and let me undo that. We don't need those. Let's look for the layer on 29, 39. The one's on 22. Let's just take this one. Add it to 39. Same for this one. Let's look for the layer. That one's an 8. Let's select them and bind. Now you can see it's actually working. Let's go ahead and do that for all of them. And if you hit Control Spacebar, you can go in a big screen. Control Alt Spacebar. Actually, we need this part here. So those are the first ones. Go ahead and flip them over, flip. Now width at 1. Now they're looking good again. So let's go to the next one. Make sure you have all the curves selected. This one's a bit smaller. This one's well small as well. So that's all. Can get rid of these. Now let's take all these, flip them, and make the width 1. And same for these, width 1, and flip. Flip. Let's move them in place. Take a look. Let's put these underneath. So we have like the clumps for the normal hair. Then underneath that we have the clumps for the baby hairs. So let's go ahead and start actually placing the baby hairs after all that time. Let's just get rid of these for now. So first let's take our base ones. Let's organize this a little bit. It's a mess. Press up. Let's call these baby hairs. So bind clumps and baby hairs. Move this one in the right fold as well. Just take these as well and call them base. Let's duplicate. That did not work. Cannot duplicate multiple clumps, I think. Nope. And that's not working at all. I think we messed up the... Yeah, look. We didn't group correctly. Over here, select all and then group. Now it should work. Yep. So let's take our base cards. Do a new group. Let's call this base. Let's move them in the baby hair folder. And again, we forgot to do it properly. It's a little bit annoying. I wish if you just group the curves, it would automatically take everything. Maybe like a group function here. But you can actually make groups automatically from these, but I don't really use it. So now let's move them. I'm just gonna place them here. Now let's take this group base. Let's move them. Baby hairs. And now it's all correct. Let's hide the hair sheet for now. And now I'm not gonna move these, I'm just gonna select from them. So let's make a duplicate. And now we can finally start actually placing the baby hairs. It's still a little difficult to see with the curve actually. One thing that we can do is hold on, let me pause first. We can go into Windows, Settings, Preference and Color Settings. go to active, then look for objects. No curves. Hold on, it's not working. Okay, so I found it, but I don't really like it. You can go here, and then you can display geometry off and do the hull only, and it will be a little thinner. But you can only do the CV points. I think it's gonna be a little difficult to select stuff. But I thought you could make this less thick here, but I can't find it anywhere. Just keep normal for now. So let's see, I think we're gonna start with this one. I think that one's quite important after all. Let's see which color we see the best. Let's go with the blue. So this should connect around the ear. A little bit more. Let's make it end. Reduce it. This is gonna be like a noisy card, but not the bass one. Let's look for good orientation. So it should be going over the ear actually. So like this. Let's get rid of this curvature here. Actually, leave that a little bit. So I think something like this. A little bit more here. And make sure it's not intersecting the ear. And let's look for a nice orientation. And remember, if you want to orient anywhere specifically, just use a twist. And we get good control of the orientation. I think like this. So that will be our first one. Now we can take a new one, or we can actually just let's make a duplicate of all these. And then these will be the original ones. I'm gonna give them let's give these a different color, white. Now we can just go ahead and duplicate. Duplicate. And hit unbind. Just gonna put the hairs here. You can see them here. Now we can just hit delete. Now what we have is this unbound curve. We can look here. Actually, let's make them the same color. And let's see, which one do we like? I like this one. We have some noise here. So let's take this one. And then here. And all we have to do now is hit paint. That messed some settings up though. That's okay. We can flip it. I think we can tape this one out. Yeah, it's gonna give us a little bit more noise here. So let's go ahead and do our first export for the baby hairs and see how they look. I think they're looking quite good just by looking at it from here. Actually, first a little bit more curvature. Okay. We'll probably do like another card here to actually make the blend. Like this one, it's not the actual card, it's a little card on top to make like a nice soft blend. Yeah, looks great. Do need to change it up a little bit. I think this one I'm gonna make longer. So I have it come here. And if it's not rotating a lot, just rebuild the curve and add some more points. Now you can rotate it better. And you want to spend a lot of time doing these baby hairs. Like I said earlier, if we export it. These hairs just take a lot of attention from the eye. Right here you're not really looking. If you look at this hair, the first things that you're kinda gonna look at, the focal points, are these cool, interesting baby hairs here. Of course the tails are really prominent. Maybe a little bit here. But like right here, you don't really look at it. That's because this is just a lot more interesting to look at. So that's why your eyes are gonna focus. So pay attention to these areas. And you can put some more poly count here as well. Just mirror these. Mirror X. Perfect. This just to get a better idea of how the front of the head is gonna look. And as you can see, the reference kinda has this greenish glow to it, right? Ours is really brownish. One way to get is just go to main camera and exposure. Here we can put some green. It's just gonna give your whole scene a greenish glow. You can pick any type of glow that you want. Maybe a little blue actually. Now you can switch the color. I think I'm gonna go with a bluish tint actually. And here you can like change the strength. Here you can change the exposure itself. A little bit more subtle. I think that's quite nice. You can do the same here. You can mess around with colors in different slots and see what happens when you mess around with it. Maybe try greenish here. So where's green? We need a pink. It's really subtle. I think we have a little bit too much in the exposure. So let's keep it like this. Actually, let's go back. I don't really like how it looks. This is just a way how you can like mess around with your mama set, get a different feel. So let's see. Let's go to this one. I think this one's pretty nice. We have like these split ends and we can push that a bit. Go ahead and move these out of the way. So a little bit behind the ear. Something around here. And don't worry about matching it perfectly to your reference. Like, not all has the same. So even if it doesn't match your reference, it doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just to guide you. Let's make it a little bit easier to see. I think we should take the black background. As you can see, we have a lot of curvature. Let's tape the end a bit. So I think we can make it a little bit thinner and use more curvature. Especially at the root, need more curvature. I think we can move this one a little bit up. I think that's a little bit better already. So one pushed up a little bit. So make it more long. We can just hit extend. It's gonna make it more long. It's gonna make that a little bit thinner. So I think that's a good first card. Actually, let's try to make it thicker. Yeah, I think that's it. So we have one. Move a little bit this side. Then let's just take a new card. Go for this one. And actually let's start giving these different colors so we can see which one is different. So purple, orange, blue. I don't remember which one's which. I'm just looking for one that has like kinda split. I think the red one. We don't really need to see the hair and all that stuff. because we can just look to the curve. We can match it to this curve. So here's the clump happening. Actually, this one should go underneath. Look. Let's push this one out a little bit. Then we get this shape here. So this is how we can kind of block out the baby hairs. We put 2 clumps down, and then later we can fill the clumps up. In between we can put more clumps and more cards and whatever. Make sure to wait until it's exported all the way, otherwise it doesn't work. So it should be higher. Let's get the ear in here. And these are landmarks. They're gonna take the most time if the baby has. So we're pretty much deciding how it needs to look now. Let's put it a little bit higher. I think we can make one a little bit thinner in the middle. Let's push it up a little bit. You can see I'm being really careful with this layer, as this layer is just gonna bring a lot of attention to it. So I want to make sure that I get it as nicely as I can. And let's try to make the roots really thick. See what that does. Again, I'm just kinda playing with it and seeing how to get the best effect. A little bit too much though, like the thickness. I'm just gonna get rid of this one. We'll place the other cards that we did later. So for this one, let's keep one. And we can just mirror this. And again, we don't need to use all of them, it's just to have them. So that's one little nice thing, you can just rebuild them really low and it will flatten out your curve. And we can add some points and give it some shape again. I think that's a bit better curve here. That's mirror. And if you want, you can also select the CV points like this. If you don't like to select the curve and go into control vertex. But I prefer to do it like this, because this way we can also select multiple ones. And if this won't open, just gotta reopen Maya, or you can go in and scroll down, and over here change this name if the plugin doesn't start. Just make sure you add like an extra thingy or whatever. But if it's different, now it will start again. So I think this is a little bit too uniform, the lengths. So that's a bit better. I think we can move this one down to be laying on the skin a bit more. So something like this. Let's select these and we can... Actually, let's not fill them. Let's take a new card. Take a yellow one. Let's try to give this one a lot of twist at the end. Again, orientating to get the back side gone. Now I think we should orient it this way. And again, we're just putting in some guides, so we can use the other cards that we made to clump to them. And those other cards, they will be faster to put in. Like we did at the base of the hair, you want to spend quite a lot of time on your stuff that's gonna guide the other ones. So I think that's okay for our guides. Now let's start connecting some other cards to them. For this one I think we can put a second one here. Now we're just gonna clump them together. I think a little bit thinner. Actually, let's not duplicate that one. Let's get a new one so we have some variation. Get all these and just move them up a little bit. That's a little bit better. Now, this one's really similar here, so let's twist the end. I can see how it looks a little bit different now. Make sure the ends of the hair have some variety to the length. I don't really like this shape here, I think it looks weird. Maybe something like this. And I tried to find reference for the back side of this, but I can't find too much. That's okay, we can work a little bit without. So set hair comes in lots of different types. Just like anatomy, you cannot really go too wrong, as long as it looks natural. And I think we have this oval shape that's repeating too many times. Let's just delete that one. Try to move this. So let's try this. And I think that looks a little bit more natural.